Okay, so today we're going to be talking about significant figures. The idea behind significant figures is that we're trying to make sure whoever reads your calculations knows how precise your methods were and how precise your final result is. That is why when writing or rounding numbers to have a specific number of significant figures, you have to follow a couple of rules. Before I tell you the rules, however, let's try to use what we know about math to see if we can figure out the rules ourselves. So take the number 0.0180 for example. Remember that I said the significant figures are the numbers that tell you how precise the measurement is. In this case, there are three significant figures: the 1, the 0, and the last 8. The 1, the 8, and the last 0. These three numbers. So why are we not using the first two zeros? At first glance, those might look like they're telling you how precise your measurement is, but in reality, you do not need them to understand what that number represents. So let's say the size of a bee is 0.0180 meters. That's the same as saying 18.0 millimeters. So we just drop the first two zeros. You wouldn't say 0018.0 millimeters because that's just silly. You don't say you ran 0002 miles. That's just the same as saying you ran 2 miles. Okay, so let's continue with the 18.0 millimeters. Why is it 18.0 and not just 18 millimeters? Aren't those the same number? Well, when we're talking about significant figures, they're not the same number. When you write 18.0, you're telling whoever is reading your result or the calculation of your measurement that you got 18.0 exactly. You didn't get 18.1 and round down or 17.9 and round it up. You got exactly 18.0. So you know for sure that this zero exists. And now that we saw a couple of small numbers, let's try and see significant figures in a couple of larger numbers. Okay, so I googled Google on Google, and I got about 18 billion and 50 million results. 18 billion, 15 million. That's how you say that number. So,
First of all, Google does not care how many results they have for every single word you put there. They only put this number here to give you an idea as to how many results there are. Second of all,
it says about this number. So we know we're not talking about the whole 18 billion being exactly 18 billion 50 million. So how do we know how many significant figures there are? Well, it depends on how you write it. So if you write it this way, in scientific notation, you know that everything before the times 10 to the power is significant. If you write it this way, then whatever comes before the trailing zeros are significant. So this zero over here is significant because it's in between two non-zero digits. Okay, but what if this zero is significant? How could you know? Well, if you don't want to write it this way, you can write it this way. All these numbers are significant because you told me that this last zero is the last significant digit by putting this underline over there. Sometimes you're going to see them up here. I personally prefer up down here. But honestly, if you're going to use significant figures, just write it this way. It's easier most of the time. To sum up, here are the rules for significant figures. All non-zero digits are significant. Zeros between non-zero digits are significant. For trailing zeros, when the number is a decimal, they are significant. But if the number is not a decimal, then the trailing zeros are not significant. Linear zeros will never be significant because, silliness. Here's some extra practice for you. You can try them on your own time. Just write them down somewhere or in your memory. And then when you think you have the answers, you can just go down in the description and the answers are going to be there. Thank you for watching.